But really, let's talk a little bit about one of the things that's actually called out in this year's theme is multi-factor authentication. I'm always surprised by the number of organizations that I talk to that still haven't enabled multi-factor. There may be some reasons that they don't have the technical ability to do the type of upgrades that require multi-factor, or it may be a cultural thing where they may think that it's really going to slow them down. And so we just have to bring them around to understanding it's not that complex. It gives you that added layer of security. It's just like, hey, before wintertime comes, make sure that you check your tires. Make sure maybe even some people, depending on where they live, change their tires into snow tires. It's all about just that taking that extra step. So what are your thoughts on MFA?
Yeah, Cindy, it's really become a must-have rather than a nice-to-have. It's specified by every one of the compliance frameworks, and it's absolutely a best practice, and it really isn't that hard anymore. Every single one of your personal accounts that you have a critical relationship with, like Amazon, as Cindy pointed out, where you can buy things and money is involved, your bank, every single one of those should not be a single just name and password, because they're typically easy to guess and you're typically reusing those passwords, which is a big, huge no-no. And multi-factor authentication takes all that out of it, and it's something that you know and you have. And it's whether it's SMS messaging, whether it's a token card, or however it's deployed, and there's so many ways. So there's no excuse now to, even mainframes can have two-factor authentication. So whatever technology you're still using, it can be front-ended with multi-factor authentication. And unfortunately, this talk is a little bit too short to actually talk about multi-authentication fatigue, which just brought down we just saw the second hack of Uber, but they had multi-factor authentication and they just didn't train their employees all the way through on how to deal with it. So it's not just deploying it, but it's training it and using it. That Uber hack would have never happened if they had good trained employees and they felt like they were part of the security team.
And I want to give an example of something that just happened to me today. Actually, I carry two separate mobile devices. One is for my work and one is for personal. And I actually had, speaking of Amazon, like we did earlier, I got a phone call on my non-personal device that is not tied to my Amazon account that was wanting me to authorize a purchase. And this phone number is not tied to my Amazon account at all. And it wanted me to approve.
Your spider senses were tingling.
They went right up, and I said, well, number one, this is not the right phone. Number two, I did not, and it actually, what was interesting is on this I'll call it a robocall, it actually listed the items that were for purchase and the dollar amount. And so instead of even going ahead and declining it, because there was option one to approve it and option two was to decline it, I just hung up because I didn't want to give any more intellect, any more information than I needed to at that moment. At that moment, my spider senses went up, to your point, and I just hung up. And I never got.
My mother and grandmother answer spam calls, and I keep telling him, don't acknowledge him, don't email. But Cindy, your idea of church and state is absolutely right. We do the same thing.